Welcome everyone to What Matters Most. Today we have an incredible guest calling in from Mexico, David Agmon. I'm very excited to have him, even though I met him very recently, but I think his work is quite wonderful. He is currently based out of a beautiful eco-regenerative village, kosher village in the outskirts of Mexico City called Atesi. He's a spiritual guide and a breathwork guide there, as well as leading a group of young Jewish adults called Olami. And so I'm very excited to explore with David today a lot of different aspects about his journey and what spiritual life means, both from a global perspective, but also from his local experience in nature, which I think can bring a lot of value and context. So welcome, David. Very happy to have you on board.
Thank you, Neil. It's a pleasure being here and ready.
Let's do it. So one of the traditions we have in the podcast is basically to ask directly to the guest what matters most to you.
Okay.
What's the most important thing to you today?
I think my hardest work and the most important work is like purpose. Wherever you do and anywhere you are, like having like clarity, purpose, what are you doing and what your energy is doing around where you are. Like what are you doing with what you have? So that's a journey because it's not always the same purpose. It's not always uh, we are not always in the same situation, in the same stage in our lives. Sometimes we are going to get married, or then we have kids, or then we are teachers, wherever. Clarifying our purpose and having on our like the us every time. I think that's what matters most.
So do you mean sort of like at a kind of global level of your life experience, like your life purpose, or do you mean also sort of like I just went through this thing and I'm trying to find the purpose of that thing, like it has a meaning, right? Um,
So it's both. Sometimes we will find the purpose on the way, and sometimes we will have the purpose before we start the way and before we start our project. But um, it doesn't matter. Um, the question is how we can get into our like how we can get our purpose, like, and that's two simple questions, but it's very difficult to answer them sometimes. Like what's the world what the world need, like what my environment, like if I have with my kids getting into my house at 7 p.m., so what do they need? Okay, so if I understand what do they need, then the second question is what do I have,
what I have to give.
what I have to give them. Like I can give them present, like I have time, I have I don't know, like a smile, I can
Yeah.
tell them a story. If we understand that in every place where we are, like we're with our family, in our business, what or our clients, what do they need and what do I have? And if we have those questions like answered, like then you will be motivated. You will be like in a silent, like the mind will be in like in silence, aligned to our like to the life, being in the present. That thing, I think that's the
So to sort of like understand this a little bit better, like you're saying that in sort of in every situation you go into, there is a benefit in you identifying what's your inherent role in that situation. But it's like, what's the purpose of you being in that situation? Whether it's with your kids and sort of giving them love and presence, or whether it's about work and bringing your intellect and so on. But like, I sometimes feel like purpose is maybe when I think about purpose, I try to I abstract it more than that, so to speak. Like it's like there's a higher purpose, right?
yeah.
Than what I
That's
can
what happened to
identify,
us.
so to speak. Yeah.
It's every moment have their own purpose. If I go to like a classroom, I have a completely different purpose. Like it's giving some information or giving my students identity or to understand what is like being Jew, like what the meaning of and the responsibility of having what we have. And but in my marriage with my wife, like it's completely different purpose. I need to be present. I need to give her what she needs. So it changed. And and it can be simple, but there is a component like it's very hard to realize what we have. What they need, it's okay. That sometimes with a little of observance we can look what they need. But what we have, if we are good in something, we don't know that we are good in something because it's our day life. Like that's what we do every
Inherent. Yeah.
time. We are into that. Like um, so that is a challenge. That's a challenge because sometimes we don't know what we are good at, and then we don't know what we have, but because we are living in a life like in social media, the people are showing you like the millions, the cars, the trips, the food, whatever. So every time we're saying, "I'm not good enough. I don't have anything. I
I
don't
don't
have."
have enough. Yeah.
So the inner work starts before we can give to someone something and to have like a purpose to give and to share, because that's the Jewish life, being responsible of each other and being responsible of where we are every time. First of all, we need to understand why we are, what we have, what God gave us, like to to share, and recognize the good in us, the good what we have. As Rabbi Nachman says, the nekudat tova. Everything starts looking at the good point of every person, every situation, but even more
Specifically of yourself. Yeah.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So is that how you started your journey, sort of thing? I mean, what what brought you to where you are now, right? Like, I understand that there is always an inner process, and I think it's a beautiful way that you put it in terms of like the simplicity of it. It's like, you hear a lot of people talking about you cannot love someone if you don't love yourself, so to speak, right? Like there's
Right.
this kind of cliche going around, but you're putting it in very simple terms. It's like, how are you going to bring yourself in your fullness and to meet the purpose of why you are in a situation that for which God put you in it, if you don't know yourself and you don't know what you have to bring to that situation? And so by working through that inner process, which is always sort of like inner work, like, healing starts internally, right? It's always an internal process. Um, how can you actually, uh, um, right, like do it? And I guess Hasidut does teach us a bunch of that. Can you tell a bit more about that? Maybe I guess that's also how you came to that process of healing.
Sure. So every interaction that we have, like human interaction, we're looking to get something like validation, recognition, or being part of something, or someone give us love, whatever. So when when we realize that the other person is also interacting with us to get that, because it's a human nature. It's not self-centeredness, or it's not that we are not like we don't have value. But when we realize that both are having this experience, that both of us are um, working, like not working but interacting to get something from the equation. So the first step to change the reality is to realize that you are good enough and you have the smile to give to the other person. And if you know that he needs that, so you give to him. So then you will get something also, but you will get something higher, because it's not using the other person to
To your
satisfy
benefit.
your
Yeah.
needs. It's it's using yourself to satisfy to the other people needs. But it
Mm.
starts from realize that you are enough. And and being like in a consciousness like that like Hashem loves you, and there's gonna happen at it. You are there in that situation, in that moment. I learned that in the yeshiva. Like you asked me, how do I start? Like I came from a um, traditional family. They started growing like religious. My brother went to my older brother went to a yeshiva, but I refused to like to go with my family with the flow with my family turning religious. But at my 26, I get married and I get divorced. I used to have like very good business, but I used to have everything, but I was like completely empty, like meaning, like without meaning, without purpose, without like
You had
non-Jewish
everything you
flavor.
thought you needed. You had everything you thought you needed, and not what you actually meant to have.
Right, right. So when I was a kid, at like 9 years old, 12, I used to be very like bully, like the people bully me, and I was like very with a heavy emotions, not processed, like very heavy energy in my body. I grow like that, trying to being accepted and trying to be part of something, and with all that pain, it was impossible to realize that like I have any value. So I went to like a very heavy process. When I went to the yeshiva, my first step it was Rabbi Glazer, the at the possible you. He gives a seminar to realize that like, the possible you that the possibilities that you have, and realize that you have everything what you need. And yeah, and I start building my relationship with God. But because of the beginning, I used to say I at my 20s, 18s, I have a surgery in my nose because the bully. I used to have a very Jewish nose. I don't know how to say that.
Not to increase the stereotype,
No,
but
no.
a bigger nose. Yeah, I understood.
So I used to have a very big nose. The kids in my school they used to bully me. So I finished at the like put my life in danger in like in a surgery like just to to stop all that all that voices. So now I can and I want to use this experience as an example of why God give us sometimes difficult moments, because when we give meaning and give significant resignificate. I don't know if that if that's say in English like
Significance.
resignificance. Okay, to any experience. So it changed from like a hole to a step. Like you won't be in the hole like anytime. Like you won't be like falling. You will be growing. So that experience to me and all that pain and all that years, when I realized that it was like to being have empathy of the people that we are suffering because I was there. So now I can have the language that the people there are not like they think they are not good enough, or they have difficult situations in their houses, bullying, like non-functional marriage with their parents, whatever. So then that give me the journey to being to help the other one. But at the beginning, at all those years, I asked God, like, why you give this to me? Then, um, with with work, with inner resignificance, like understanding why it it changed
You mean
completely.
reframing, like
Reframing,
finding another meaning to the
right?
fact.
And realize that. So that I start my relationship with God, like with understanding that everything that happens to me is for good. Even if I don't understand, or even if it's painful, or even in that moment, in that present moment, that I won't get the message. I understand that being patient and with confidence, with emunah, is the only way to to go through every any situation with a like joy, with happiness, because now that I'm a father, I understand that what it means that God loves us. Like, because I'm a father and I understand what the love of a father is, and it's much bigger, even if we don't understand in that moment. So I went to Israel to the possible you seminar, 7 days, like it was like a group therapy. Um, I heal like tons
So
of
much.
inner thoughts because everything starts from a thought. Like, what's the meaning you give to the situation? So at that time, as I'm not good enough, my friends don't. I don't like. They don't like me. Like that's the story that I used to tell to myself. And then when you change the story, you change your reality. And then when you realize that it's not true, and you understand that you have um, the the power to use all that experience to use to the world in a good way, it's very meaning.
It's
like
beautiful. Yeah, absolutely. And how did you sort of, first of all, thank you for sharing. I mean, that definitely felt also very vulnerable. So I appreciate that. How did you sort of enter the world of Hasidut in your spiritual journey?
it was very fun, but it's a very interpreted story. So I when I get married the second time, we went to our honeymoon to Israel, and we went to the hotel, the Western world, and I see a Mexican who told me, David Agmon. He told me like, yes, but who you are? He told me, I'm a friend of your brother. So I told him, come to the house, let's do Sewa Shirishi together. And we started talking, and he told me, do you want to go to? And I asked him, what are you doing here? I'm going to Tzfat with a rabbi, Rabbi Weingot. I don't know if you know him, but you should meet him. He's like, wow, he's my rabbi. He's a neshama out of the world. And so he told me I'm going there. And I asked him, can you ask him if he can receive us in Shabbat? We are a couple. So at the end, we get there. And I told him, like, I never have this Torah. I never have this approach to Judaism, like, never. And I want to be connected with you. And he told me, don't worry, David. We are more connected than as you think.
And what do you think?
6 months after, or 4 months after, he invited me to Uman with my wife for Rosh Hashanah. So we went on
You
a
came back. You went back to Mexico after.
yeah, we went to Mexico, and then he told me like, you want to go to Uman with I'm going with my family. You come with your wife. My wife was pregnant for the first baby, so that was 7 years ago. So I tell her like, let's do a crazy journey, like going to Uman. In Rosh Hashanah, it was like 80,000 men and 20 women, and my wife was one of that.
It's one of the.
And I didn't know what Rabbi Nachman is. I didn't know what Hasidut is. It's like, and that was the beginning of the journey.
You went straight into it. Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there's no more like way to get exposed than to going to Uman, right? Like in Rosh Hashanah. That's amazing.
Yes, and thanks that my wife was there. She used to push in Mexico. Like I told my friends, let's go to Uman, and the wife say like, no, 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 it's Rosh Hashanah. He stay in the house, and because my wife lives that experience, she's like an ambassador of Rabbi Nachman in Mexico, telling the people, no, no, send your
And your husbands.
yeah, yeah. So about woman, I think it's very important to say like being being part of something bigger, like 80,000 people praying to God, like saying, God, you are the king, and being like kind of unity. It's an experience that everyone should do because it's like the starting of the Geula. I don't know how to say it. It's like very clear, very clear experience that
Incredible.
what we are going to have like in a bigger and in Israel. It's just that like
Tell me what is Hasidut, or at least Hasidut Boeslev.
Okay, so Hasidut, I'm gonna try to telling in the simple way. Like there is a vessel, like a glass, and there is water inside. So for the last um, 2,000 years, almost 2,000 years, we uh, we survive in the galut, and we used to be much more involved into the form, the halacha, how to survive, how to do the things, how to um, transmit, like the. So it's like the form, and it's very important to wake up and to do shachrit and the tefillin and Shabbat and whatever. But Hasidut, it's a deeper part of the relationship with God. It's it's the
Mm.
purpose. It's why you are doing Shabbat. Why, and
Mm.
it's I don't know how to say it.
Like an inner experience, o dímelo en
It's an inner
español, maybe.
experience. Pnimiut Torah, yeah, it's an inner experience. It's a relationship. As an example, Rabbi Nachman says that go to do it boedut. Talk to God, like go talk to God, like in your language, and you can tell him like if you want to say like brother or you want to say daddy or wherever you want to, like it doesn't matter, but talk to him. Realize that you are creating your reality, being involved, like realize that everything what is happening to you, it's it's a gift from God to make yourself a better person, like have an inner work, or to being more present, or being uh, involved with the community. Whereas like, everything is what is happening to you is God is speaking to you also. Like it's not just going outside and speak to God, it's also the response of God, like talking to you in every situation of the life. So Hasidut, it's being besimcha, it's being um, it's being happy, like with emunah, being like simple. It's not a intellectual work; it's a hard work. It's so that's very, and that's it's related on what the why that's related what was we was talking about before, like because I went to all kind of therapies like psychologist, group therapy, like group therapy, psychedelics,
Mm.
trying to find meaning of what I used to be happen to me, and why I used to be like that, and all these desires, whatever, and it was very intellectual. So
Yeah, I see. Even the sort of experience, for example, of psychedelics, like having gone through like deep experiences there, I think I can relate to that. Like the experience is incredibly deep, but what you take from it tends to be very intellectualized, right? And like in some sense, what happened with me, I guess, was like I did not fully understand that the real work comes after the experience, right? Like it's like in the day to day.
right.
And
And
I love how you framed it, that like Hasidut is sort of the purpose of why we do the halacha and why we do the things that we do that God asked us to do. It's definitely a deeper layer of understanding the Torah.
so yeah, when you have when you understand that everything is to have a relationship with God, and you want to have the relationship with God, that's a Hasidut. So then you can keep Shabbos in a very much more spiritual way, and much more like with joy and delightful. But the thing what I was trying to tell you is like after the psychedelics, or after any experience that you have of clarity, okay, I used to be bullied to understand that the people are suffering. Hashem gives me the opportunity to being involved with hundreds and hundreds of people, like young people, college guys, Jewish, that they are having struggles and having issues in their life. So I can be like a partner in their journey. So even if I understand that, I used to have that energy, like, very heavy emotions in my body, and
Mm,
take them out. It's like trying to, okay, now you need to go to that. You know that that's your path, and you need to go to that mountain. But you have like a backpack with stones, like you can carry. Like you still having
yeah,
like too much energy
weight,
in the body,
too much
like
weight,
weight.
energy. Yeah,
So one part of the work for sure is like the mind resignificate, like giving to understand that God gives to you for a better, um, and this life is just a process, and it's just the beginning. And even if we don't understand, um, I asked my brother, I asked my friend like last week, do you know that you are a seed and you are going to start like like
flourishing.
ocean when you have like 120 years, like when the last day of your like this life is when your seed will grow,
Flower is
like.
gonna
So it's a very completely different perspective of
beautiful.
being alive, because we are not here just for this is
The flower experience.
yeah,
We're here for like the seed to
in the
the
process, we're
flower.
in the process. So yeah, so the other
So
part
let me
is
ask you.
the
Mhm,
heart being
mhm.
more involved in this reality. Because what happens to me the first time I made like a very heavy therapy, I went to this like the sky. I see very much clarity, but it take me out of the of
The
the
body,
this of the of the of the world, like
the
being
reality
involved in
of
the
the
world
physical
and
reality.
reality. And it's very important to realize that this reality is what Hashem wants from us to grow. Not like when you have like an inner experience of clarity, of future, of any tafkid or purpose in the future, you need to live it now. What you can do now, but because time is very, I
Is
I
very
used to be very
important. It's
involved
very
in the meditations, like Oriental meditations and the presence process, the power of now, all that books that, and it's very important to realize that if we if we are decide if we have some projects or and and we're giving too much energy to the future, we are getting out of reality. And if we are
of the
living in the
present.
past, too much in the past, like what happens to me, we're living out of the reality. So we can go to the past. We can take um, the purpose that happens to us to make it make a better world now. For that, that's it. So being in the presence is taking out all the future and all the
Yeah,
past, and just being. I don't know if it's a incarnated, like in your reality, like being here.
embodying the reality, being present. Yeah. No, I think this is beautiful. Of course, it's not the first time I hear this, but in some way, the way you mentioned and you expressed it, the process where I am now, I guess it really hit me, hard. And I think you can relate to this as an entrepreneur as well, in that, building a company. I'm also the CEO founder of a company, and like building a company is a process of getting to know yourself. It's like it's a way of having a reflection of who you are, and being able to say, well, I don't like this, like how do I change that, and going through an internal process to change it internally so that it's a reflection outside, right? Whether it's delegating, whether it's trust, whether it's being very clear, whether it's being transparent, whether it's being right. And one of the things I'm realizing, just as you're saying, is like companies also a process finding its own presence. Because if you think about it, like building a product means answering the needs of people now, not in the future. Like, many times I consider myself like a visionary, if you wish. And like, I think a lot about the future, right? But it's what you're saying is like people, our friends, consultants, advisors are like always trying to tell me, like, find the, find the problem that exists today, not the problem that exists in 5 years. right? And I think we have a tendency to do that. I do, at least, and I know a lot of people do too. And that's a beautiful way of putting it. It's like you get out of reality. It's like being able to come back to where you are is so meaningful that that's where sort of like your actual flourishing it lives, right? Like the actual seed grows in the present, not in the future. Like if you constantly think about the flower that is going to be coming out when, you know, the last day of your life, and not sort of as to like the, let's say, nutrients and properties you are giving it today in order to develop in the right way, right? That's a beautiful way to put it. I appreciate how you know you reflected all of this without really saying it, but
I like the way you just say it. Like if you have a company, it's a reflection of your personality and what is happening. Like for example, I'm doing this cloth brand, and then after a year that planning the branding, the brand, the meditations, because it's a meditation inner work
clothing. Yeah, I
experience.
want one. I love it.
Well, yeah. So the thing is that now that it's ready, like I have the clothes in the office, like everything is ready. Now I need to push the sales, like go out to the world. And sometimes it's my belief that probably it's not good enough. Probably it's too much. Like I put a meditation on the like and a word in the it says like word like it says gratitude here. So it's I said and it's my fears in that step that I need to work with. And it's very human to realize and recognize that okay, I have fear. I have fear of reject like not rejection
Yeah, yeah, failure.
of failure. So, but I need to do it anyway. So it will give me growth. If like for sure, it's for me like kind of emotional. But I need to make a work in my body also. Realize what is happening to my body, like because all this fear it's living in my muscles, in my like in my body. So that's why it's very important um to once again to live a life with mind, clarity, purpose, Torah, intellectual stuff, but are very connected to the body, to the emotions, to the situation where is living around. It's very easy to close the eyes and imagine like the huge company and a very solution. Even I can close my eyes and I imagine the Beit Hamikdash, like
Yeah,
very,
yeah, yeah.
and I can like, and
Totally.
but it's more,
Yeah, we need
it's
to take those ground.
like there is a person that says like dying for God it's easy. Living for God is the hard the hard way. Like so being in the life and being with a good attitude, like being responsible. I, I
Hmm.
I want to share you something, Daniel, that
Please.
that changed my perspective of being Jew and what it's all being the Yehudim it's all about. A friend here where I live in Simchat Torah, he told me the Beit Hamikdash. You know what the people used to be like? What they used to do there? And I said like, yeah, the Kohanim make the korbanot and the Levim singing, and there is like the smell like
The incense.
the ketoret, the sense, and okay, that's it. So he told me, okay, there used to be people that they have sins, so they need to go to the Beit Hamikdash to give an offer, to give a
Sacrifice.
sacrifice. So at the beginning, when they arrive to the Beit Hamikdash, the Kohen hear what happens to him. He understand what is their feeling, like the point of his soul that is have a like a defect. Like if he have like
Mm.
is if he's egocentric or
Or narcissistic or egoistic. Yeah, like all the
yeah, yeah. So they will
negative characteristics of the soul that came for which he came to this world to fix.
because the scene is just a manifestation of an inner non-balance, or like not being
Imbalance.
in
Yeah.
balance. So then he understands what is happening to him, or if he like depressed and he thinks he's not valuable, wherever. So he turns to the Levim, and the Kohen says, "Hey, Levim, put music, but in which like level of music? Like if someone is very like a
Wow.
person to like go down like music of death, like to understand that like he's nothing. But if the other person is like the inner experience that he's having, like I'm not good enough, then like put music like he's the like to give them power to realize that he have
Awaken
a
the
mission in their
spirit.
world.
Yeah.
So then he go into like a trance, like a healing therapy, like music with music, with smell, with the exact situation, and all in his mind, and the environment. What it gives to him is to give back what his purpose in life. Because when someone is in purpose and he's giving what he's to give to the world, and he will be happy, motivated. Once again, it's and the nations of the world used to be in the Beit Hamikdash also, give korbanot, bring the korbanot. So then, after the music, after everything, let's do a barbecue. Let's do party. Then you bring your korban, like let's share to the world that what you used to be on a scene, or what's your lesson, but we need to be like vulnerable. I don't know, vulnerable. I don't know how to say that word.
Y- What do you want to mean? Yeah, yeah. Vulnerable.
So, so can to being able to teach to the people that we don't need to be perfect. We just need to be human, and that's and when we are human and we recognize that we can do it alone, and we can like do it all by ourselves. We need to be part of something bigger. So some like Bezat Hashem, when the Mashiach comes, everyone will be able to know their own um,
Purpose.
as Rabbi Nachman says, everyone have our nigun, our song, our like
Mm.
everyone.
Wow.
We are, and then the Mashiach. They say that
Wow.
when he comes, seven, it will become the eighth musical note, and it will be everyone together singing our song. Like we don't need to be the same, and that's something when we start talking, we try to identify in the points that we have in common. That's like if you're from Spain and you went to Mexico and you see a Jewish from Spain, and oh wow, we have too much in common, so you can have a relationship with him. Avta lereacha kamocha, the love, the other one,
L-
it, it,
Love your
it,
neighbor as yourself.
but it says it's more deep. Avta, love, reacha, it comes from the word acher, from the one who is
Mm.
not the same as you. But you need to good see good points on him to realize that he's giving you the part that you don't have, and that's
Mm.
on that part that we can be in a complement in a community, being part of something bigger. We don't need to be on the same religion, or in the same Hasidut or Litai. We just need to
Yeah.
recognize that everyone have something to bring to the table.
Yeah. Wow. That's
It's
beautiful.
it's it
It's
changed me
very
completely.
deep.
I
It's
used
very
to
deep.
think in the Beit Hamikdash just like kohanim, like
Yeah.
killing animals, and that's it. Like no, it's
No, no.
much
You
more.
just yeah. You just painted a whole different picture for me as well. I mean, it's like suddenly the Beit Hamikdash was this place for healing, real healing, right? Like it's like everything
Right.
made sense at the same time in conjunction. Like, um,
and
wow,
and that's the importance of all the world to recognize that the Jewish. It's not that we are the selected.
yeah,
No, we have our mission, and if they
we have a
don't
responsibility.
allow
We have a
to,
purpose, right? The people
we
have
have
the
a
purpose.
purpose. We have a purpose, and our purpose is to serve, and is to being like being the Beit Hamikdash to help the world, like every nation to understand their own nigun, their own sing, their own song, and then Bezat Hashem, it's coming soon.
It's coming soon. It's coming soon. But it's interesting. It's interesting. I can totally like feel this process, right? Until every Jew doesn't fully sort of embrace his own purpose in connection to the Jewish, right? The Am Israel purpose, it's not going to be in fruition fully. There is like a sort of the missing links inside is what's right, like what's going to make the whole be much more powerful than the sum of the parts.
And that
I've been using a very powerful metaphor, and it's amazing. Ashgacha pratit 100%, right? Like, but like I think it was like 2 years ago, I had a chavruta with some Israelis, and Israelis in Spain, like not a lot of them, are close to religion, but like these people were interested in sort of just connecting to some sources and having a, let's say, philosophical conversation, right? And someone came, and said, like, from the Israeli perspective, said like, listen, one of the things I struggle with is this idea of like the Jews are the chosen ones. It's like I don't feel comfortable with that as a Jew. Like I don't feel comfortable with that. She said that, right? I was like, listen, like you need to understand that like it comes with a wrong connotation when you put it that way, right? Like I told her, imagine, right, like that. You said you have a bigger brother and an older brother, or are you the older one?
no, I have another.
You have another. Okay, so I'm the bechor, right? Like I'm the older brother, and like the idea here is like that, like just like the older brother, you know, has more responsibility than the younger one. Just because he does, he's older, he needs to be able to transmit the values that the parents are giving him to the children as well, right? To his brothers and sisters. And so like there is a level of responsibility. I mean, like it's known that the older brother always gets all the, punishments from the parents, et cetera, et cetera. Um, just like that, like it's similar. Like Jews are the eldest of, you know, God's sons. And because we're all, sons of God, right? We're all creation of God. We cannot, deny that. And, the younger brothers have had their, rebellious, behavior here and there. And, the Jews as well. Okay. Like, we need to align and we need to know that, this responsibility or this power of being chosen as the eldest comes with a lot of responsibility, right? Like in the words of Spider-Man, right? Great power comes with great
Comes with
responsibility.
the yeah.
And like, it's crazy that in the Parashat Shemot, right, like last week's parasha, or like not last Shabbat, but the one before, God tells Moshe, right, like the first time he's going to go and talk to Paro, and he says, go talk to Paro, right, because he took Beni HaBechor. He's saying like he took my son, the eldest. And if he won't let go of my son, the eldest, the Jews, I will take his eldest. I will take his Bechorim, which is the 10th plague, right? And suddenly everything just makes sense. It's like, wow. Like I was amazed by this. I couldn't believe that it's actually written in the Torah. Like I kind of invented this metaphor. And suddenly I see it right in front of my eyes,
It's
So
true.
yeah.
It's true. Probably the people, all the nations, they don't have any issue on recognize that an older brother and be, like the thing is we need to be uh, acting in accordance of our Torah and our mitzvot. To purify our mouth and to being kind to every person and recognize that every person is part of God creation and give the value of that to that like and for example in Mexico like there is like assimilation not because people are getting married to non-Jewish or losing the tradition like the Mexico is a very corrupt like country, like
Mm.
like there is no law and wherever. So it's easy to people, anyone, even Jews, like to be involved on that kind of business, and we need to get involved in the Torah and do the things right, because when we're not doing like the good way, even if everyone does, even if there is no any problem, wherever, like any justified situation, so then the people who is looking around, he says like, no, they're not, like they're not. So we need to believe, and we need to live a life with values, the Jewish values, than being like doing Kiddush Hashem every time, and then the people will see us and will say like, please give me light, the light that you have. Now the light that I have is Hashem. Is I'm doing what Hashem wants, and that's right. It's not about us. Even that we are Jewish, and even if we are like the other one and need to bring purpose to the world through the Beit Hamikdash, it's not about us. It's about Him,
Yeah,
and we are
completely
just a
agree.
channel to do it. But to be in a channel, we need to be living in Concord, like in the values.
Why I feel the intensity of that responsibility. Like it's not easy to hold that in the body either, right? How do you think? So let me ask you, like, since we're in this, and this is really what comes up, and you mentioned it a bit in the beginning. You said that like for thousands of years, 2,000 years, like Judaism had been a lot about the form, and kind of Hasidut brought in deeper meaning and sort of a shift in the perspective of why we do what we do, right? As Jews, that it's not just about Naaseh v'nishma, or like just about Naaseh. Like there is also Nishma, right? Um, how do you think this is changing Judaism
What
today?
I'm sorry, like what exactly? Like the all this.
Like Hasidut, like the first of all the meaning, like finding the meaning in the things, and second, embodying, like looking at the body as as a source of wisdom, like knowledge. Like we know that there's like ancient, uh, you know, cultures that have done this for thousands of years too, right? Like connect to the body and bring in the body. And there's a lot of movement in the psychosomatic world around looking at the body as the place of emotional stress and understanding. How does that shift the narrative of Judaism in some way, from your perspective?
So we used to be connected like human beings. We need to work the land. We need to be involved with like our body to make our own food wherever, and we're supposed to be in a land in Israel and to be involved with that. Then they take us out. We have been for 2,000 years moving country for country, and we haven't been able to being in the place, being connected to the land,
Mm,
being connected to the presence, to make our effort give us results like as simple as going to like make it like put a tree or whatever. So I think that part of Judaism has been like moved and take away, and just we just stay in our mind, and I think it's very important. But then when we realize that we're going to have a complete life in Israel and being like all together, we need to start looking again to our body, to our land, to being connected to all this as a whole, not just like my mind and the Torah as a future experience, or my the way I need to act in Shabbat or in the future in the Olam Haba, wherever. No, it's being much more involved in this situation. Even we have to teach that our body is just like a tool, and it's not like the final thing. We need to be involved on that. But also, I think like I Hasidut is not just the body, and it's not just the heart. It's the relationship. It's a higher
mm,
relationship with God as the purpose of everything. So sometimes there are yeshivot that they learn for like years halacha, and it's perfect because because of them we know how to act. But then you can ask them like, okay, but for what? Even if we there is a simple question and emunah pshuta, like a simple faith. It's like girl asked to me, and I do it.
Do it.
Sometimes that it's not enough. Not in this time. Like
Yeah.
100 years ago, probably used to be enough. Now we need like Ein Sof, eternity, Sefirot, like what used to be close to some people. Now TikTok is full around like uh, Kabbalistic
Yeah.
teachings, whatever. But um, at the end, it's okay. Well, sometimes I stop in a video like it's talking about Kabbalistic, even if they are not Jewish, and it's like, okay, they have content, they have chokhmah, no? Then we need to turn into a that. We need to take that information and to realize that God creates everything. We have a responsibility that everything what is happening to us is for our good, and then we can being expanded and we can share the world like with a confidence and with being with an open heart. Like we forgot what is being in an open heart. Like they think like the other one is going to steal us, or the other one is going to bully us, and the other one because we used to have some bad experience in the past, so we close our experience and we don't share what is happening to us. So we need to learn how to open our heart again and to tell our inner child that everything is good, that it doesn't need to be as used to be, and to give a new opportunity in our life. Give us a new opportunity.
Yeah. Yeah. No, this is very beautiful. And so I know that you also do a lot of breath.
Yeah.
How does this come into the picture? I guess like this is a way of connecting to the body in a way.
So from the last 7 years ago, I went to the Rav Daniel Katz seminar, and I started make like doing meditations, like different kind of meditation, amazing. Look into each other eyes, like for an hour and a half, and like very heavy and very like and all the techniques that he teach us, it comes from the Baal Shem Tov, like very like that used to be techniques that we used to learn, but for
We
some
stopped
reason
learning, or
we lost them.
yeah,
We lost them. We just being involved more in survivor, being on survive mood, or being like in expand and connected experience. So then, um, on my own experience, being like healing myself, my experience, and all what happened to me, and love myself, I realized that I used to being like very reactive and emotional, like too much energy in my body. And from 7 years ago, I started giving meditations. I used my own technique. I used the Rabbi Nachman lessons to make some meditations in some specific point, as like for example the Nekudat Tova. It's a very heavy meditation and look the good on yourself. And it's very powerful to anyone who do it. Um, and then I realized that there is new techniques with say psychedelics that the people they will get much more deeper, like in a open heart, and much more they can heal faster. And I think heal faster is better in this time. Even the eyes, some people say that no, take it's better go on the go to give the life the opportunity to give the answers. No, I think if God give us some plants that they have some chemicals in some situations that they can help you in, like any medicine needs come from plants. They have their own purpose, and you can use it in a good way because They think those are like drugs and they will get you lost. I don't know. Some people they use once in their life. They like post-traumatic syndrome soldiers that they're going into psychedelics and healing, and they do one or two sessions and that's it, and they're born new, and I think that's amazing. That Hashem, it's a very, I think it's now that it's getting famous much more than the like intelligence, artificial intelligence. Like from one part is stop being human, and the other part is no,
Be more human.
be more human again.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
at the end, I understand that there is some risks sometimes where they don't know how to do it, and if they don't know what's the like side effects wherever. So there's a technique, holotropic breathwork, that you work with your own breath. It's like this is it's a breath like with everything with the mouth. Like for it can takes a long time, but your body will start getting like sleep, like cosquillas. I don't know how to say
Tinklies.
it.
Yeah, like tickles.
And the hands can like being freezed on this mood, and there's the stomach and the it depends on the energy that you like everyone have accumulated. Probably it's overthinking or like being like show off in your face, like trying to being show off, or you have like in your stomach like emotions that you haven't processed, or on your legs it's fear, on your hands it's uh, excess of
Muna.
control, and that you're trying to control everything and you don't have emuna and whatever. So we go into the bread work without any plan, without any nothing, and because of this bread work, it gives the oxygens to the all the oxygens to the head and expand the head. It's like a psychedelic. I think it's much more powerful than a like a
A
mushroom,
psychedelic.
like yeah, like mushroom trip.
Wow.
And it's you will feel it like in that intensity. Then it's like a meditation to integrate, because if you have a light but you don't know how to bring it to your life experience, it will be like just light, like any powerful experience that you didn't integrate to your life. And then it's good because you don't need to be like for 6 hours and getting too much out of control. The people sometimes they have, because they have too much issues, they also have fears, and they won't get into a psychedelic therapy. So I think that's the way. That's a very good way. It works for me, and that's why I say like it's work for me. I want to share it. Like same as I told you before, I had that experience. I understand the power of that experience, and then if Hashem give it to me, it's not just for me. And I used to be in like a meditation, so it was like
Right.
easy. I learned how to do it, and I have I can do it like just one by one on one or in a group, and it's a completely different experience, because one-on-one is more deep inner work, much more confidence, and the people they can express themselves like easier. As when it's a group, sometimes it's like it's difficult, and the people they don't want to open themselves and to share their shadows, like very.
Yeah, yeah, of course.
But
It's
on
hard. It's
that,
harder to be more vulnerable in a group.
yeah, but that if we understand that being vulnerable, it's the answer to what we are looking for. Why? Because they give us something that we just have pain, and because we can take this and share, we change the whole story in that process. And if we tell
Mm.
ourselves, like, I'm a human, I used to be like that, and I used to say lies to my wife because of that or whatever, and we can share, we're not just growing, and taking out, like it's not a ghost anymore, but also it gives the other people the information that your inner work to the other one can bring benefit of that experience. And that I think that's the, it's not just in therapy, that's the life all about. Realize that we need to share to each other, even the hard situations. I used to, 2 years ago, I have a very heavy situation in one company that I created. I went to a bankrupt, and people helped me, and I went to a therapy, like to process all what was happening to me. And he told me, David, you love to help people, and you do it. You know how to do it, and you do it. Like it's part of your mission in life, and you take it, and it's your purpose. And but sometimes you need to ask for help. Also, you need to give the other one the opportunity
Possibility
to
to
give.
help you.
So that can happen just if we open ourselves and we ask each other, like being human.
Wow,
Wow.
that's beautiful, man. Thank you, David. I guess it's a beautiful sort of also closing of a loop because we started talking about the importance of realizing that you know what the meaning of your presence in a situation is you being there for another person, so to speak, and what you have to bring and so on, and not you being there to use the other person for your benefit. And like this is you exactly bringing that point where like you know sometimes you're also too much giving yourself to others, but others are in need of you to be able to give,
To
right? Like
receive.
and to receive. But like I think in Kabbalah is it's called um lekabel leman leashpia, like to receive in order to give, right? It's like sometimes you are there in some sense. The purpose for you to be there is to like actually receive something that in principle is it's for your own pleasure. But in fact, the process of how you're doing it is going to bring more pleasure or more growth to the other person.
Right.
Yeah.
That how it works. Like it's a process. I think the as we grow, also like the world give us challenges, like being in the phone every all the day, on being connected just by messages, or being with artificial intelligence, and not giving us the, I don't know how to say it, but the human
Distracting us too
connection,
much, no?
the sharing
Mm.
connection, and it's a very interesting times because we think we won't need people anymore. Like we will have our robots in our house to help us. We will have our AI agents making the work, the creativity work, wherever. And then, well, okay, in a good part, they will make the hard work, but we need to be connected. We need to be sharing, partying, enjoying life, dancing, loving each other, being present to receive whatever God gives to us. Like because every interaction, every person that is going into our life.
David, I can't hear you for some reason. No, you're right at the end. Quick moment. There you go. You good? You back? No. Oh, now.
Now, okay. So I don't know what I was saying. Well, so God, like there is an opportunity to being share, receive, give, wherever, smile, say hi to each other, and we are like like in our phones, or we are in our thoughts, and like it's very difficult. So I used to live in Mexico City. Now I live in Atesi, in a farm, like an hour and a half, in a community where 20 families. And sometimes I go to Mexico City, and I see people that I haven't seen like in 6 months, like very close friends, but like they're in a hurry. They're like, like, like it's we need to put like much more that attention, consciousness on what we are experiencing. It's heavy, but it's the work.
Yeah,
And
it's the
then
work. It's the work.
you we will recognize that all what we need is just an illusion. What we are experiencing is abundance. It's life. It's um,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Like the physical needs are not really what count, right? It's being able to just
being in the
see and
present.
and experience that presence and the beauty of everything we are given, like just from a relationship perspective, from a love perspective, from just
With
the water
gratitude.
that we drink, you know, the yeah,
The gratitude, I think, is the most is the door to the happiness. Like, because we all want things. We all have goals. We read, like, Hashem wants us to being part of the world and creating the world. But when we are just focused on that, we lost the point. We, like, um yeah. So it's part is to give sometimes to our goals, and the rest of the life is being taking a part, enjoying, learning, being the life of the Torah. And which Torah, like, that's something important. When I get involved to the, like, learning and Torah in my life, I like I will remember my father taking me to the Beit Midrash to learn Gemara when I was like 14 years old, and it was like, when you wake up in the morning, at what time you can say Shema. Like, I wasn't involved in anything. Like, now I use like Likutei Moharan as my, like, as my
go
I
to
learned the parasha and I learned Mishnayot and whatever, but it's very important to recognize which rabbi, which kind of perspective. There are some people that they like the laws, the lawyers. They prefer probably halacha, but there are sometimes some people that are more emotional. So I'll Likutei Moran or Tanya. So they, we need to understand that Torah is for us. Hashem gives to us. They give us rabbis to give us the path, and then if we want to be connected, it's not that probably we need to make a search, a really search of which part of the Torah is connected with me, which kind of rabbi is connected to me. And it's very difficult because sometimes we met some rabbis but they don't know the other part, and they even there sometimes are some, like, like, play of the ego, like, no, no,
yeah,
Litai is the met, or Hasidut is the met. No, no, well, it's to share.
it's
Like,
all one, and
so
everybody
some
finds their
people they say, no,
path.
no, no, don't learn Likutei Moharan if you didn't finish the Shas. So, like,
Yeah,
so, some people, they used to, some rabbis, because of they are, and it's not their fault. We are, as I told you before, we want to be that the other one being like us, like, to share the same points, but no, it doesn't work like that. And after we don't understand that, the world don't understand that we are not made to be equal. We need to share our own light. It won't finish. It won't start.
we will get the Mashiach. Yeah,
Even
The
on
real
slides.
fun will start. The real fun will start. Thank you so much, David. Thank you so much. This has been a
It was
beautiful conversation.
really pleasure. I hope like everyone that hears us can take their own answer to the question, like what are you good at? What God gives to you? Look your good point. Like everyone look their own good points, and let's share it. Let's share what we have. Sherman,
Let's complement each other, right?
let's complement each other as a unity.
Amen.
It's quite funny, like to say like unity, like you used to be like, no, everything is the same. Like no. Unity is everyone in their own position doing the best and doing their own, but then that's unity.
Yeah. Wow, that's beautiful.
Awesome.
Thank you.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
everyone for
David,
listening.
inviting
Thank you,
me.
David. Of course. My pleasure. I'm hoping we get to meet each other in person, maybe in Atesi, maybe in Madrid. You
Yes,
know, our paths will cross. I have a feeling for it.